Hey y'all, so today we're going to talk about 6 interesting world maps. We're going to talk about where do the 8 billion people around the world live. We're going to talk about where is the cropland around the world. And we're going to talk about where do automakers sell a majority of their cars around the world, plus a few others. So let's get started. So the first map we're going to look at are most popular web browsers going from April of 2012 to April of 2022. All right, so if you look at the map, you will see that the blue is Internet Explorer, that the orange is Mozilla Firefox, the green is Google Chrome, and then the red is Opera. I've never heard of that one before, but as you can see, it's majorly in like Europe, Asia, and parts of Africa. Moving on to April of 2022. You can see that Google Chrome has taken over. There's a little blue dot here for Microsoft Edge. And then you have Greenland, which is Safari, but Google Chrome has taken over. So is Google Chrome the platform you use now? That's what I use on my Mac. Once I've used Google Chrome, I don't think I can ever switch to something else. So do you agree with this map, and do you use Google Chrome? The next map we're going to look at is where do automakers sell their cars, and this is percentage of car sales from 2023. So as you can see, you're going to have the country, you're going to have the brand, and then you're going to have the region being sold, which you have North America, Europe, China, the rest of Asia. And it looks like the rest of Asia, they are adding in like the Oceania area, Latin America, and then the Middle East and Africa. So in Japan, you have 3. You have Toyota, Nissan, and Honda. In South Korea, you have 2. You have Hyundai and Kia. In the United States, you have Chevy and Ford. Now, these are the bigger major companies. And then in Germany, you have Volkswagen, you have Mercedes, and you have BMW. So when you look at Japan's companies, for Toyota, the most of their cars are sold in the rest of Asia. For Nissan, the most of their cars are sold in North America. For Honda, it is North America. When you move to South Korea, for Hyundai, it is the rest of Asia. For Kia, it is the rest of Asia. For Chevy and Ford in the United States, they sell their most cars in the United States. For Germany, for Volkswagen, it is China. For Mercedes, it is Europe. And for BMW, it is China. So as you can see, this is the percentage of where they sell their cars. I was a little surprised to see that Ford, 22%, which was the highest number, was in Latin America. That did surprise me some. Based off the map, do you agree? Do you own one of these cars here in North America or Europe or wherever you're watching from? Let me know in the comments below. All right, so the next map is a map of cropland. I just love maps like this. Like I love seeing like the colors and where croplands are and where they're not based on lights and dark color. I just love these maps. So as you can see here, you have a lot of the mid-ish west, and like this would be like Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, down into Oklahoma and Texas, up into like the southern part of Canada. That is where America's breadbasket is. Those are like the flyover states. Those are where we get our crops from. You can see down here in South America, you've got like Brazil and Argentina. You can see in Asia here, you've got this part of China that's not in the mountains, like mountains are here, and India. You can see Australia, you're down by the coast. Africa, you've got a lot of more coastal here where rivers go through. You've got here in Western Africa. Europe, it looks like most of Europe is able to grow a lot of crops just because of the way that their terrain is. So these are maps that I just absolutely love to look at, and I just think they're fascinating. So next we're going to look at the top 10 countries hosting U.S. troops, and this is the number of active duty military personnel in these countries. So the first one is going to be Japan at 54.8 thousand. Then you're going to go to Germany, 35.1 thousand. South Korea, 24.2 thousand. Italy, 12.4 thousand. And then you're going to round up the top 5 with the UK at 10.1 thousand. We are also going to have troops in countries such as Guam, Bahrain, Turkey, Norway, and Spain. That rounds out the top 10. It is showing down here that 16.1% of the active troops are in the rest of the world, but this is our top 10 of where we have military bases with active duty troops. Now we're going to look at where do the 8 billion people on the earth live. So they have it broken down by North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Oceania. All right. So as you can see, Asia has the biggest percentage. 58.9% of the 8 billion people in the world live in Asia. India and China, both neck and neck at 17.8% with right over 1.4 billion people. Indonesia, 278 million people. Pakistan, 241 million people. If you go into Europe, you've got Russia, 144 million. The UK is at 68 million. Italy, 59 million. France, 65 million. Germany, 83 million. Going into Africa, your biggest one is Nigeria at 224 million people. Egypt, 113 million. Ethiopia, 127 million. Going down to Australia is little, and you see it says 26, that would be 26 million people live in Australia. South America, Brazil, 216 million, 2.7%. And then moving up to North America, you have the United States at 340 million, which is 4.2% of the population. So, do these numbers surprise you? For me, not at all. I knew that Asia had over 50% of the population, so these numbers do not surprise me at all. So let's take that 8 billion population and divide it around the world as if there were only 1,000 people. Only 1,000 people in the world. So we got to look down here at this note that says, to be represented on the map, countries needed to have at least a population of 7.6 million people. All right, so if the world had 1,000 people, Asia would have about 590, Africa 185, Europe 91, South America 55, North America 74, and Oceania 5. So let's start here with Oceania. 5 people based off world population if 1,000 people were in the world. Asia, 591, with 177 of those living in China, 178 of those in India. Pakistan would have 30, Bangladesh would have 22, Indonesia would have 35. Going to Europe, there would be 92 people throughout Europe. Africa, 182, with 28 of those people living in Nigeria. Going down to South America would have 55 people. And then moving to North America, you will see that it would have 75 people, with 16 of those people living in Mexico. So if the world had 1,000 people, this is how they would be distributed. What do you think of looking at the map in like a map like this with these kind of numbers? So you're not looking at billions, you're looking at 1,000 and how we would be represented. I think maps like this are really cool. It lets you see something from a different perspective. If you enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe, and comment below with something that you learned from the maps today.